All right, here's the man, the legend, the myth.
So,
There he is. What's up?
what is going on? Oh, I got everything going on.
Well,
Everything
welcome,
going on. Hold
welcome,
on.
everyone.
I'm just setting it up so I can see the live myself. Give me one second. What's going on,
I
everybody?
can already tell we're going to get a lot more people. We are blowing up more than normal by doing this. Guys, we're broadcasting across both channels, Splintered Spirits and Santa Paranormal today. So welcome anyone who's passing by or new. This is Splintered Spirits, the podcast hosted by me and my nephew, John Santa, talking about all things spirit communication. Trying to prove those theories of what are spirits, answer those questions that we all wonder. Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of good episodes this past week, if I do say so myself and ourselves. It's been fun, and the feedback has been wild.
Oh, I got to show you what this looks like real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah. That'll be easier for you. That's like old man stuff. We can actually see it.
I know. I can see the chat. Isn't that wild?
That's really cool.
Soon I'm going to get it so it's going to be right in front of me so I'm not, ooh.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. We've been getting a lot of great feedback about our time with Rebecca last week. And I'm getting a lot of fun stuff. I think I mentioned this to you, John, and I'll tell the crowd here. So I've been playing around with Reddit.
Yeah.
Right? And so I've been loving it, dude. So we did this episode. If anybody hasn't seen it, our latest episode was with this professor, Joseph Laycock, out of the he works at the Texas University. Wrote a couple of books about Satan and Satanism. And so I've been dropping videos from that episode as promo. If you follow us on all social medias, which if you're not, you should be, then you've seen a few of them. But I joined a lot of Satanist groups and the Church of Satan, and I'm like, all of them, right? And man, the first one I dropped, they were all into it, right? They were really behind us as a like, yeah, like there's a miscommunication about what the devil is and about what Satan is. But then the next one I dropped where he says, because of the book Rosemary's Baby, that success that pushed publishers to have Anton LaVey, publish the Satanic Bible. Well, that sent them off, dude. And I've been banned from the Church of Satan subreddit, which I think it's kind of like a badge of honor. Now, I got into it a bunch of Satanists on the Satanism subreddit, which is much bigger of a community, but it was very cordial, the conversation and the argument about it, right? But dude,
Hold on, let me cut you off for a minute.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy here right now. I have my REM pod set because I'm going to be going live after this. I have the REM pod set. The REM pods are going off. They just knocked off a whole chunk of wax that I had in the middle of the shelf here, which isn't leaning or anything, when I was setting up the candles. And the cat's going nuts, which is normal. But now this light is off. I know for a fact the light is off. And I have a light that is flickering. And I know the switch is off. So I don't know if that's an electrical issue. I don't know what just happened, but between the REM pods, the chunk of wax getting thrown off the shelf here, and the light now, I'm like, what the hell is going on in here?
Maybe it's because we're talking about the devil.
Maybe
we're getting people riled up on both sides of both dimensions.
That's what that beeping is right now. If you hear that those are REM pods going off.
I didn't. Okay. I could barely hear him, but that's wild.
Yeah.
But anyway, so listen, look, you could find I don't know if anybody else is out there on Reddit, and I know we ask a lot of this community to go out and promote and plug and follow us and like and subscribe. If you're following us on the Santa Paranormal channel right now, you can also see us on the Splintered Spirits channel for both of these things. So it's so there's a lot of people. There might be a lot of new people, but on Reddit, look, if you're ever on Reddit. This is me on Reddit, and this is our podcast on Reddit. Feel free to go in there. get in on the conversation, upvote
Dude,
us, and
Gary,
build it. Yeah.
check this out. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was
No,
playing
cut
with
me off.
this. You might need to look into this too, because we were both talking about this. Check this out now. Look how clear that chat is.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good for you.
How wild is that?
Oh,
All right.
nice.
Sorry about that.
No,
Get
no,
back
it's
on the
cool.
topic of Satan and Reddit.
Satan and
Satan's
Reddit.
in Reddit.
It's
Reddit and Satan.
I'm getting obsessed with Reddit as a promotional tool, just really working it and trying to figure it out. I'll go into mediums groups and start dropping our old videos in there, psychic groups, dropping stuff in there. And they all, for some reason, get real bent about promotion. Like, I'm like, oh, what do you give a shit? If you like the content, why do you care if it's a promoting? I don't know. That's just, people get bent.
Well, no, you got to understand something. You got to think of it like this. This is coming from a personal standpoint. If you build something, whether it's a Discord, a Reddit thread, a Reddit channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anything. If you build anything from the ground up, hard work by yourself, and then somebody comes in, you have no idea who they are, you have no idea what they're about, and all of a sudden they start saying, "Hey, check this out." The people that create it go, "Oh, screw you, screw that, do what I did." Click.
No,
That's what the mentality is,
I hear
which I
that.
agree with.
I get that. I get that. But if my thing with Reddit is they say like this is a group to talk about psychic mediums. Everything psychic medium, all conversations, in the news, in the thing, psychic, medium. And I post a video of like me and Kathy, or you and Kathy, or like from Bob Ginsburg from when we talk about the Forever Family Foundation, which is completely on topic of the broad topic of psychic mediums. It's not like, hey, this is my brand. This is just some group where people who like to talk about psychics, and you get bent out of shape because I'm showing you something that's about psychics, even though it's my,
Oh, well,
yes,
that's
I'm
different.
promoting my thing.
Yeah, that's different.
Then I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
eat it. Just like eat a
Yeah.
dick, and not in a good way. It's like, what are you getting so bent about? It's just such a
Yeah.
strange thing for people to get upset about. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm getting obsessed. I'm getting obsessed with Reddit. It's great. But we've got these past few episodes have been getting some really killer responses. Rebecca was super fun. If you guys didn't check her out, she was our guest live. We've got another guest coming on in a few minutes today. Another influencer. More of an investigator, more of another, we got to come up with a term of what the walkers are, John, like what you do and what Netzel does.
Oh,
There's got to be.
listen, I've called it cemetery walkers.
Okay.
Hands down. That's the term. Anybody who got their start walking on cemeteries, they're cemetery walkers. Because think about it like this. Before I was doing it, nobody was doing it, even though people come out of the woodwork claiming they did it. No one was doing it. It was taboo, and we know this.
Mm-hmm.
People thought there weren't spirits in cemeteries. Let's be real. How many people have we spoken to that are like, "Oh yeah, spirits." No. It's the belief that spirits are in the cemeteries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I do it years ago. It blows up. And now it gives all these people that always wanted to get into the paranormal, but didn't know where to start, didn't have a place to go and investigate, an opportunity to go, "Oh, I can go to my local cemetery. I can go to my local graveyard. I can go to my, which is
Right.
cool, which is great." I call them cemetery walkers.
God, he's like,
exactly what they are.
He's going to send us a video we're going to look at. This is a Stark Paranormal.
Cool, awesome.
That we'll look at where I think he may have crapped his pants. He gets so scared in it, which is funny. So I want him to walk us through like what scared him. And I think I hear what's scaring him, but I want him to walk us through it, which is kind of fun.
Okay, cool.
But
awesome.
We're getting a good response on this podcast from these guys and these men and women who are influencers in the space and building this community, right? So, it's great. I see you, LA Premier, in the chat. It's one of my boys. So it's really fun how it's working out.
Trolling your
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's my kids. It's one of my kids. It's a dad for my kids' water polo team. So it's he comes in. He's got an obsession with UFOs, which is great. Which we haven't.
I love, dude.
We haven't gone down that road yet.
We should one of these days, definitely. I would love to.
Here's another thing I want the community to know that's coming, that we listen to them. We had asked once, I think, John, when you were not on one of the lives, and I just had to talk like, what do you guys want to hear? What do you want to listen to? What do you want us to investigate? and I got a lot of past life regression.
Okay.
And I want them to know that I've heard them. And I am doing an interview with a guest who specializes in this. I'm not going to say who it is yet because it's probably not going to air for like at least 6 weeks. But for all those people who are interested in past life regression, I'm getting a crash course in it. And I think you're going to enjoy it. You know, much like how I did the crash course with investigating and my crash
Yeah.
course in
Yeah.
mediumship. I'm gonna give them a crash course in past life regression. So we've heard you. We like this kind of feedback. We want your stories, we want your questions, and we want to see how this speaks into spirit communication, right? Because that's what we're talking about in this. So that's what this whole podcast is. So, well, good. I'm glad you guys are happy. Yeah, it should be fun, right? I think we'll have a lot of fun with that one. And we've got a lot of good. We've got a lot of good mediums coming up. We've got our next guest after our next guest. Oh, dude, we've got ourselves a Salem witch coming up. They're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's in
Yep.
2 weeks. A
Yep.
bonafide Salem witch, an
She's
old
awesome.
Italian
She
witch.
was. We had such
She's
a
like, and
good
what did you
time.
call it? You said like she has a way, like a cadence of speak. You know, she rhymes a lot and she like
Oh, it's like wordcraft. Like she uses
spell speak
basically
or what?
you could hear the spells coming out of her mouth as she speaks. Everything she says with intent and for a reason, and you can hear it. You can hear it when she's speaking. And I'm like, I picked up on it. I'm like, I see what she's doing there.
Oh, she's great.
You
She's great.
know?
And what's really funny about the witch, her name is High Priestess Lori Bruno, and she's probably the most political of all of our guests too. She gets into
Yes.
it, dude. She's like,
Yes.
I feel like she's probably put a couple curses on some people. She didn't want to admit it, but
Yeah, oh, definitely.
you never know.
The way she
She's not
was,
into
I was
that. You
like,
know, she talks about the
whoa.
light a lot, but I feel like, I think she might have dropped a few curses on him, which is funny, dude. Um, well, John, our guest has arrived. He's in the waiting room. So
All right.
I'm going to get into in a second. Let me introduce him. So I told everybody here that we were expecting a guest. This is Cody Stark from Stark Paranormal. So he's been doing this. He's told me he's been doing this for about 6 years now,
Okay.
live streaming for about a year. His first 6 months, he was with a team, and now he's sort of on his own. We'll hear all about that. He's all over the social media. So he's another paranormal influencer, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I think last I checked, he had close to 30,000 followers. He's got a pretty big audience. He's a lot of fun. I watched him, and he's got a real, um, you know, kind of like an everyman sort of approach to it, where it's like, well, I don't know what this shit is, but which I enjoy because it just makes it feel less, intense. It always seems like everybody's so intense. But anyway, I'm going to bring Cody on. So give us a second, and we will add him to the stream. There he is,
What
Cody
is up,
Stark.
gentlemen?
Going
Thank you so
on.
much. It's a pleasure to meet
Hello,
you,
hello. Thank you, thank you. Nice to meet you guys.
Cody. Where are you? Where are we finding
I'm
you?
in Indiana, Southern Indiana.
John, it feels like didn't you just go to Indiana? It feels like there's a lot of ghosts in Indiana. What's the
In
deal with this
March.
place?
Yeah.
What's going on in
Randolph
Indiana that
County
there's a lot of
Infirmary.
ghost hunters?
Yep.
There's just a lot of places here, I guess. Randolph
Yeah.
is a fantastic place to go. Been there
Yeah.
numerous times.
Yeah.
So, Cody, we like to start out with all our guests. We ask them this very question, just to sort of get a baseline. It's like, Cody, what do you think spirits are?
Loaded question right off the bat. All right.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's pieces of consciousness. It's kind of similar to you, John, in your memories, fragments of memories. Um, if you take the religious approach, it's more the soul. You could look at it on the Catholics as purgatory. They're waiting to either be judged to go to heaven or hell, or they just don't want to leave yet. But me, I'm still honestly searching for it. I don't have it actually narrowed down, and hopefully I get there one day. But still searching. That's why I keep going out every other night.
What made you do it? What made you get started? What was there one thing that you were like, oh shit, there's ghosts. I need to
Yeah,
find out more. What was it? Tell us the
yeah.
story.
So when I was 12 years old, there's a house that's very close to mine. It's been abandoned since like the 1980s. And before I could drive, that's where I went hunting. I'd walk past the house, back to the woods, dark evening, morning. I seen a little boy in the upstairs
Wait, when you
window.
say hunt, you mean ghost hunting? Or just
No,
hunting,
like
like real hunting?
deer hunting. Yeah,
Okay,
real
got it.
hunting.
Got it.
And I seen a little boy in the upstairs window. And the first time I seen it, I like, because I'd always look at the house because I'd walk real fast because it kind of made me nervous. You know, this big, abandoned, creepy house. And I seen it looked like a little boy standing upstairs window. So I just book it. I'm scared. But about 6 months later, I seen it again. And I stood there and watched it for about 4 or 5 seconds. And I mean, he had short hair. You can almost put, he looked like a little Amish boy. He had a whitish shirt and he had like suspenders. And I could only see to about mid thigh. But yeah, that's what got me into it. I started watching all the ghost shows, you know, and ended up meeting my wife and joining the group, and kind of took off ever since from
Wait,
there.
you met your wife ghost hunting?
No, not ghost hunting. So
Oh.
I met my wife, and then her ex brother-in-law had a team, and that's how I got involved in it. But I always watched the shows, always found it intriguing. I didn't know how to make that leap to actually go do it. And you know, like even now, some people are real nervous about doing it because you know society don't always look well on society. You know, for that person, people think you're weird or crazy. Or now I don't care. I tell anyone and everyone, don't really care.
Well, that's why I found it
But
so amazing that, or odd when you said like you met your wife ghost hunting, because it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if you want to meet chicks doing ghost hunting stuff. It's sort of like, if they're really into it, there might be something else going on, you know?
right,
a different way
red
around
flag,
it.
red flag, exactly. No, not while ghost hunting.
So when you started to get older and that little boy, did you ever investigate this house to find out what that boy might have meant or what it was or who he is
No,
or why he's there? No, it's just like,
not
fuck that
until
kid.
not until the past 6 years. I just
Okay.
like I watched the shows. I seen him use equipment, you know, but I just never did it. You know, I didn't have that oomph to go do it. And I wish I would have now. I wish I'd done it years ago because I
So now
just feel
you're
like
out
I'd
there.
have more knowledge.
So now you're out there, you're doing it. And what have you discovered while you've been doing it? Like has anything changed about what you thought it was versus where you're at now by ghost hunting or documenting or investigating these places that you do it?
The biggest thing I've learned, the intelligence. And I think they're learning. They're constantly evolving like we do. That's
Explain,
probably the
like
biggest thing
give
I
me an
learned.
example of that, man. What do you mean by that?
So I call it a trick. So I'll do it with playing cards, I'll do it with a dice, or I'll do it with a coin. I got like a big ass coin. One's a penny and one's a $50. And I'll flip it out there and I'll try to get them to tell me what side it lands on. You know, what's the top facing side. And I've got it numerous times. Or roll the dice and tell them how many dots are on the dice. And that's like the thing that's mind boggled me the most. You know, like if you actually go into it from watching the TV, they don't really they say intelligent residual, but they're not like really saying how much that they can learn or evolve. And I think, especially when you go back to places over and over again, how they learn you learn them, they learn your equipment. And what I found, the more I go to these same places and I'm doing these tricks, they're getting it more times than not. They're getting
Yeah,
either
John,
heads,
John
they're
has
getting
a
the
few
dots.
ghosts. John has a few ghosts that he knows that know him. Some of them make fun of him constantly when they go. David
Yep.
started making fun of me a couple times, which I don't appreciate very much.
Hell, I get hit on half the time.
It's really interesting while you're out there, right? And you start to realize these things, and you think just how much like the blurred line between residual and intelligence, and if the entity in question, when you're not around, kind of like, if a tree falls, in the forest, does anybody hear it? When you're not around, just how residual that energy is, as opposed to when you show up on the scene. And if it does go from residual to intelligent, it really makes you think. 'Cause I've always questioned the whole residual. It's residual, it's residual. And it's like, maybe, but maybe whatever is lingering and residual has the ability to not be, depending on the right circumstances.
I 100% agree. I do think residual can learn in the same way intelligent can. And I
Yeah.
Well,
think
John, I
that's
mean,
where the repetitiveness comes in play.
Well, it's like also if you think it's attached to energy somehow, that could possibly absorb more energy in a lot of ways, right? Cody,
Yeah,
is your wife's name Amanda? Is that your wife?
yeah,
She's in the.
yeah.
I want. This is sweet. She's in the chat. She just hopped in to try to say like, listen, I'm not crazy. Basically, right? We both had inches in the paranormal, bro. So it's like, guys, I'm not crazy. Don't worry, Amanda. We don't think you're crazy. We find it very sweet. It's I always find it you know, it's interesting. Um, yeah, that is a good way to look at it, right? You know, especially if you're seeing the same spirits over and over again and they're saying the same thing. Do you ever then go back and investigate their stories or try to look up their stories in history or try to find out? Have you
Yes.
ever been
So
what's blown you away the most? What's a story that's sort of like knocked you off your socks? Knocked your socks off, I should say. Whoops.
I would honestly say, so I've investigated the house that actually brought me into paranormal many, many, many times now.
Okay.
And after learning the family history, uh, something that really has gotten me, I think something happened there that the spirits give me pieces of a puzzle, but would not come out and just say it. Either A, they're too nervous to say it, as odd as that sounds, or B, maybe the original owner, which his name's Frederick, won't allow them to say what it is. Because something I've, especially with this house, I call it the stall house. I've really learned that I get out a lot. And at first, I thought he just didn't like me because I'm younger. I mean, he passed away in 1886, so probably has that mentality of just that older, grandpa style mentality. Get the hell off my lawn, kid, type thing going on. But as I've been asking these questions about did something happen here, and like I said, I've gotten pieces of that puzzle. I get out a lot, and I'm not so for sure if he's actually telling other spirits to get out because I also think there's a portal there because I get new names all the time. All the time, I'm getting new names that does not reside within the history that I've looked into, the family history or just other spirits that's always been there that I've always contacted. So I that really blows my mind. That's the piece that I'm trying real hard to figure out. Is he telling me to get out, or is he telling other spirits to get out of his house? And
What are
I'm
you
just
using?
catching that blurred lines.
What do you
Uh,
use? What is the
a-
gear? What is your go-to gear? We like talking about gear here because there's a lot of controversy about gear.
yeah, oh yeah, apps and spirit box.
Okay.
So I started off with spirit box. So radio frequencies, right? Manipulating the radio frequencies.
Is this
As
what everyone talks about? This SB7 or the whatever it is? What is it?
7 SB Pro. I mean, multiple
Sure,
different
sure.
ones. I mean, I even got a 12587 Radio Shack hack that I've used that I probably the best one ever made. But from the
All right.
90s.
Like a
And that
radio
came from a
scanner.
buddy of
Okay.
mine. Oh yeah, yeah, old school. Pull the
Okay.
pins.
Yep.
But
Okay.
Pull the pins. Pull the pins. Yep.
right. But I also been using apps a lot. And I know apps are very controversial, but who's not to say that apps just ain't new tech? They're still pulling in frequencies from biometrics in the phone. It's just not radio frequencies, right?
It's
So
digital
as
radio too
John,
in some of them for sure.
right,
Right.
especially if you're pulling across the internet. So if your phone's always pulling in internet signal, pushing and pulling, it's picking up radio frequencies. It's not the
Yeah.
same as an actual radio, but it's still picking it up. So why does people have a such hard time grasping that spirits can manipulate your phone? Now, I do have a thing on that. The apps that ask you a whole bunch of permissions, I struggle with. That's permission for your mic, your photos, your GPS location. I struggle with them apps the most because if that app has that word database in it, right? And I say a word that is a trigger word and it spits something out over that trigger word, it's using my mic. So I find those a little bit fishy, but probably, especially recent, Transcend is my favorite by far. No word data
I like
bank,
Transcend.
all phonetics, all
Yeah.
phonetics, and it don't ask you a bunch of permissions.
Yep.
It's just you interpret what it says. And most of the time, what it says is not what pops up on the screen from
Yeah.
what you hear. And that's
Yeah.
what I like about it.
Yep.
Do you
But
ever have you ever felt, Cody, that um because you said you were young and you saw this spirit and this boy. Did you ever think like you are somehow on a different wavelength in terms of this world. And I don't mean it like, I mean, just sort of like,
Right.
are you, if you've listened to our podcast before, I say this all the time because I use these apps. I don't get dick. I get absolutely nothing from them. I get I get the get out. I get the, why am I dead? Get out. I get all the basic stuff. But when I'm with John there, it gets real specific. It says my name. I'm using the same app, and it's like, I'm, it's weird. And I'm just a firm believer, like, his frequency's off. he's sort of on a different wavelength, or his magnetic field is different. Because it's like, I look at them as tools like anything else, and I think, look, so I believe in intuition. I can't imagine anybody would say they don't believe in intuition. You just sort of have a good feeling about something or a bad vibe about something, or I think that we can all agree they have that. And I just think that, having been in this process now with John for several months, maybe that intuition in certain people can lead all the way up to mediumship, right? That's that strengthening in the same way. I can't, and I use this analogy. Not everybody can throw a baseball at 98 miles an hour. Some people just can do it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's
Right.
like a God-given gift or whatever it is, but so anyway, that's kind of what I'm saying. So when you're using this, do you ever feel like you're on a different, like you have a better connection than most of seeing what you're seeing, hearing what you're hearing? What would your
I
wife
wouldn't say
say?
I have.
Amanda, jump in. Feel free to jump in, Amanda. Do you think he's connected to ghosts or what?
She'll probably call me crazy, is what she'll do. But I, I've never claimed to be a medium, psychic. I really believed in them until I started doing social media, and everyone in the woodwork comes out claiming to be. I'm not knocking. If they are, they are. I'm not disputing that, but I still think it's a very rare thing. Um, like me personally, I think it has to do with relationships, because John can attest, he goes to these places all the time. He is forming relationships with these spirits. And the more you
That's
And
an
go to these
interesting.
places,
it's
the more you
you
go to
bring
these
that up.
places,
Yeah.
John, what do you
And
think?
but and what's wild is he brings up that point. And when I go to a brand new cemetery, I warn everybody, guys, this is going to be a different experience. These spirits have no idea who I am. Get ready for it. They might get nasty. They might get very turned off and standoffish. Get ready for it. So yeah, your building is 100% correct. You build relationships not only with the spirits but with the spot you're at.
100%, you're feeling that spot's energy. You're feeling the spirit's energy, then they're feeling your energy. If you want to look at it from an energy standpoint. But there's multiple times, it takes me 3 or 4 times to go to a location to really start getting interaction, whether it's with ITC devices or with EMF, physically to move or that sort of thing, motion. It takes time. And I think, see, another thing on that too is when people go to a location, say they go to the Randolph or anywhere, they go for one night, then spirits don't know them at all. But I bet you if you stayed 3 nights in a row, I bet you that third night would be popping. I bet you'll get some good interaction on that third night just
Well,
because
you
they
know
know
what's
you by now.
what's really interesting about the Randolph that you bring that up. So that spot back a couple of years ago was a big spot for a lot of people that had just had a lot of beef with me for no reason. When I
Your
went,
audio's getting a little cracky there.
is it
Sure.
when
Yeah.
when I went
There
and I'm walking around, a lot of the spirits knew who I was, and I literally was like, "Yo, guys, I can explain why these spirits know who I am." And all I said was very simple. Think of all the people that are vocally against what I do and how I do it and where they always used to go. And it was that place. So these spirits were probably watching, and it just goes to a test, we're probably watching other people watching me while they're mocking me and what I'm doing for years at that location, bringing me up in discussion. Oh, yeah, John Cena, screw that guy, this, that, and the other. And then there I am, and all of a sudden the spirit's like, "Oh yeah, you're John. Oh yeah, that's John." And I'm like, that's hilarious. Now I have no issues with any of those people now. That's all under the bridge done with. but it was just very interesting how at times, and that's something I've always wanted to test out too. Pick a brand new spot, not go there, and have literally someone go there for maybe a half hour a day, real quick, and just watch some of my videos. And then see when I go there if the spirits recognize who I am from the videos.
That'd be a really good test. I would like to see that.
Yeah,
That is a great test.
That would be a great one.
Yeah.
Guys, if John is breaking up for you, I think it's because it is storming.
Actually, I think it's on his end because you're good. You can hear me, right?
Well, you're cracking on my end too.
All right.
I will say that, but you're good.
We have issues. We have some issues.
Whenever we go live, we sort of things get all whacked out.
Well, actually, there's something about that I wanted to say. Have you ever had spirits manipulate your lives?
Yes.
They're messing with your signal?
Yes. I've had, and what's crazy is in those live streams when it happens, I have service issues all the time, right? Service issues are service issues. I'm not going to turn around and every time be like, oh, it's paranormal, it's paranormal. When I go back and listen to the replay, there's audio over the replay. So I'm literally catching EVPs over the replay. The problem is it is so distorted, you can't make it out. But you can.
So you're getting audible EMF.
Yeah.
So I've got that a few times. I've gotten audible EMF, and I have the same issue on my lives, and I got a good story to that one too.
Love it. We love stories. Let's hear it. Get after it, Cody.
There's a cemetery in Kentucky. It's called Hell's Gate or Gates of Hell, depending on who you are. That's what you call it.
Sounds like a place I will never go to, but continue.
It's actually called Casey Cemetery, and lots of satanic rituals going on there. Lots of devil worshiping, witches. There's even it's called the Witches Circle. You can go there and find burn spots. I mean, it goes on there, and I've been there multiple times. But this was my first solo, and I just went maybe a month ago, and I was live for about an hour and a half and didn't have. I mean, it cut out occasionally, but not bad at all. I'm using Transcend, and this voice comes through. It sounds like an old grandpa, real deep and raspy. As soon as that voice comes through, I start having issues the entire time. And it's not very nice. It's pretty nasty, some of the stuff that's coming through. So I ended up going to YouTube and running a live there so people could watch, because YouTube was running pretty good, but TikTok didn't want to run. So I ended my TikTok
right
live.
There. That's actually your biggest piece of evidence, believe it or not, because you can talk to anybody that streams on both YouTube and TikTok. If you're having service issues, YouTube is the first to go. YouTube goes quick before TikTok will, if you're having service issues. So if you were able to stream on YouTube, that means either two things. Either TikTok was having an issue, which if no one else was having the issue, then you know it's not TikTok. Or, that spirit somehow, some way was manipulating your streaming phone for TikTok.
So it actually gets better. So I end my TikTok live and I go back live, still have an issue. And I'm getting really frustrated at this point. I just drove 2 hours and I know this place is a good place to investigate. And I'm upset for my community because it's lagging so bad for them. And finally I'm like, Spirit, quit messing with my stuff. I'm over it. Stop. So I got frustrated. And that same voice comes through and says Romans, a Bible verse. Then he says chapter 2. This is on Transcend phonetics. So I have my chat look up what Romans chapter 2 means. And it talks about judgment. All about judgment. And I said, either you think I'm judging you or you're judging me, and I'm not judging you, nor will I have you judge me on that. And I started speaking Bible verses against darkness. It stopped. I didn't have any more issues.
Any more tech issues?
I didn't have any more tech issues. I mean, I'd have the occasional blimp, but not like what it was. I mean, it was almost to the point where I couldn't move. It was so bad.
John, this guy is getting yelled at by ghosts, and then he decides to start reading the Bible. Gary would be, reading the exit sign and sort of splitting out of the place. It doesn't make any sense to say. I mean, that place must have been a good spot for you to want to stay there so bad to fight spirits off by pulling a scene from The Exorcist and like the power of Christ compels you kind of stuff.
Well, like in my mind, I'm there to do the research. Yes, I'm entertaining my community. And if anyone says TikTok ain't entertainment, baloney. You're still entertaining your community. But
100%.
uh,
100%.
but I'm there to do a job. And for one, if it is true darkness, which there's only one time I think I've ever encountered it, something of otherworldly or demonic, if you want to put the demonic word on it. And it was leaning towards that darkness. And I can't show it fear because that's what it feeds off of, or what we think it feeds off of, right? So I had to get kind of shitty spicy back with him, you know. But see, I've had this issue one other time, and that's actually at the Skull House, the house where I had my first experience. I'm live in the attic, and I have a music box. It's a thermal motion music box, the Para Ace music box, aimed in a doorway. And I'm actually double streaming YouTube and TikTok. My YouTube starts malfunctioning, doing the trying to find signal.
Reconnect.
TikTok was fine. The music box hits just a quick hit, half a second it played. And I looked up and was like, oh, music box went off. You guys hear that? Well, I'm still messing with YouTube because it's not going. Music box hits again. All right. Okay. Something's in the doorway. All of a sudden it pins. It's playing. It's not stopping. I look up from my phone. I can see the shadow standing in the doorway. I have the music box going through a doorway. I can see the shadow standing there. I look down at my TikTok screen. I can see the shadow on my TikTok. Both live streams were completely lagged out. I had to end my lives. Complete lag out.
What song was playing on the music box?
I think it's called The Carpenter. Or no, not The Carpenter. It's whatever Para Ace is. I don't know. But
that's
so
wild.
I had multiple different devices seeing them on the screen, you know, to video. Then I got the music box going. I can see it with my own eyes. And I completely lag out on two separate social medias at the same time. And when I mean lag out, like completely froze, no comments moving, nothing. And I'm like jumping and hollering and just pumped because I got the best evidence I've ever captured. Nothing. I was so upset. For 15 minutes, I'm trying to get service back. I end the live. I go back home, immediately download. I stayed up late that night, going to work the next day, immediately download it, watch it. I lost all that time. It's not there.
Wow.
Sucks.
That's one of the worst things.
Yeah, because that's the nature of this
you,
whole thing, bro. Right?
I can't tell you how many that's happened to me. It's one of the worst feelings that when you go to, or the live is corrupted. You go to download the live and it's corrupted, and it's the worst. I feel for you.
And it's not even the feeling for your community. It's for myself too, because I'm there for myself as well as showing the community.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude. You're going to some super haunted place and you want to catch something, and you risk, whatever, just either being scared to death or tripping over something on the run out, and it's like you think you got it, and then you don't,
right.
And it's like you just wasted a night where you could have been in bed, or you could have gone to see the movie, or you could have caught up on, The Bear or whatever the hell you're watching. It's just like, what are you supposed to be doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, and you just wasted your whole night. So you sent me a video you wanted me to share, and I want to share it with people. So
yeah,
I told John it's hysterical because this is how I would have reacted. It seems like you almost shit your pants a little bit doing it. And
maybe a little.
Now, tell me if I'm wrong, because I'll play it a couple times for people. Is it the sound like that, right? And it's I just got chill say
it wasn't even just the sound; it was the vibration. The whole building was vibrating.
So I'm gonna play it for everybody right now. I'm gonna jump over, and then we'll play it a couple times, and so you can, and you got to listen for it. But here we go. Let's see.
Fuck. Can you whistle back at me? So what's crazy is I've kind of noticed a pattern. When you go down to that end where the green light is, you start hearing noises. Then the noises kind of stop. Fuck! What the actual fuck is that? Hello? You're not allowed to be in here. Hello? What the fuck? That legitly scared the shit out of me. If you're a person, you're not allowed to be in here. I will call the owner. Fuck, that scared me.
Now, was it that wolf? Like, was that the
So,
like? That's what I
so,
hear when I really listen to it. I don't know if the
so,
audience can hear that really well, but Cody has this on Stark Paranormal on his TikTok feed or all his feeds. You can find this clip and you can really listen to it better. But Cody, tell us a little bit about what we just experienced there with that.
so,
I think John's trying to hear it for himself. So, do you want me to play it again, bro?
No. I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that sounded like it shook the entire building.
I wasn't exaggerating when I said it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, dude.
Because that's
Cool.
probably that's
Nice
in the top
capture,
3.
man.
And
So
yeah,
tell us about like what, because for over the recording, to me, it sounds like a whoa, like an expansion sound, like you'd hear in the movies, right? Like
so
when Neo in the Matrix moves the room, and it's like wow, like that's what it sounded like.
so in the moment, the last part after I quit screaming like a little girl, I didn't hear that. I only heard it at the after I went and watched it. So I didn't like I don't know if my mind was just jumbled about what happened. That I didn't hear the last part, but like so I'm in the intersection of actual Pine Lawn, the nursing home part of it. And what I'm talking about is I'd be at like one end and I'd hear all these noises at the other end. So I'd go that end and then all the noises would start back. So I ended up in an intersection where I'm like halfway between the noises. And I'm just standing there. And actually, when I say, "Can you whistle?" I didn't say it in the live or in the video. There's a whistle back. It's just so faint that I couldn't get it loud enough for people to actually hear, so I kept it out of the video. And I whistled many times that night because that place is known for getting whistles back. You whistle, they'll whistle back. But I'm just standing there, and I could have swore someone drove a vehicle through the wall of that place.
I want to put on my
And
I want to put on my Brandon Kramer hat. If you guys don't know, Brandon Kramer is Real Ghost Hunter 1. He was a guest in the pod. He's like, he takes, I bet if he was on, he would ask, like, could it have been an AC unit going all, you know what I mean? Like doing something weird, shaking the thing, or like I don't know
right.
exactly. Tell me a little bit about the place.
So Pine Lawn is a nursing home in Illinois, and it's I think it was abandoned for a while. Then the guy bought it now, does the ghost tours in. They're fixing it up. They just redone the roof. I seen, and I was all over this building for hours before this happened. So probably 2 to 3 hours. I was all over this building, and there's no one in there. Now there was more people there. Like we had a couple other creators there, but they weren't in the building. I was the only one in the building at that time. They were over at the center, the therapy center, and so I hear the noise. I freak out, and which it don't show it in the video, but it took me every bit of 10 minutes to walk back here and see what it was. I came out, walked around the building. There's no one out. There's no one there. There's you can't open the door to go back. Like I'm at the end of the video, I'm looking down the hallway, and that's the one that took me like 10 minutes to walk down. Because I honestly thought someone came in because I've never had something that loud and that much vibration happen to me before. Now I've heard a lot of crazy noises, but nothing like that, nothing even remotely close. And so it took me a minute. And finally I get the courage to walk down there, and I mean, I'm going crazy, like looking like what could have fell. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff back there, but nothing heavy enough to make the whole building shake. But
That's
that one got me. That one,
Yeah,
I
dude.
can honestly say
Yeah,
that one
of
got
course
me
it did,
really
bro.
good.
Of course it did. It's insane. It's wild. You
Well, yeah,
know?
and you can literally hear, like, listen, I've been in music and whatnot all my life. So is my uncle. You could hear that vibrated that building. You could just hear it. It's not like, the sound is just, coming down the halls or, coming from a room. No, whatever that was. And it almost sounded like it was interdimensional enough to not only affect the area you're in, but the entire building itself.
Right.
It honestly, warbling is probably the best word to describe it.
What a great word that is. Say that
Warbling.
3 times fast.
Which I've experienced that plenty of times, and it's wild to experience it because it's not normal. It's just
No.
not. No, it's like the definition of the paranormal. It is not normal.
I want to also point out it's a nursing home, and everyone who knows this podcast knows my theories on this. The 2 worst types of ghosts are who? Old people and children. Straight up. If we are to believe anything from the movies, old people are the worst, and they even make worse ghosts. And children, they're terrifying. So of course.
So that's what gets me so bad. We are physically out there looking. We want that to happen. And people are like, well, you're looking for it. What do you expect? That stuff don't happen. So I always say, and I actually think I give it a little leeway. 75% of the time, nothing happens. 25% of the time, maybe something will happen. And I think I'm giving a lot of leeway in that as far as, my research that I do as actual paranormal.
Where do you want it to take?
Oh. Isn't it amazing the amount of people that watch? Because as you said, we're entertainers. That's what we're doing. We're here to entertain. We have our agendas, documenting, investigating, hunting. But if we're doing it on social media, we're going to be entertaining. Isn't it amazing the amount of people that think that they're like, hey, we want to see a ghost. We want this. We want that. And it's like, whoa, you think we control this? You think that, we can snap our fingers and things are going to happen? It's like, no. It's not. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't work that way. It never will work that way. It's just the way it is. You go out there and you get lucky or you don't,
And that's Cody, what people watch. Sorry, that's what people watching these lives are actually seeing. They're seeing real, entertaining, but real paranormal. They're not, they're not 3 days at a location to watch a 45-minute episode that has everything cut out of it. You're seeing it live action. So of course nothing's going to happen. Not calling out Karens, but I had a Karen in my live last night that thinks I was a wizard of some sort, that I could a ghost out of nowhere. And she was trolling hard, man. She was trying.
I love trolls. I love when the trolls come in. John's mods usually get rid of the trolls before I get a chance to jump on them sometimes. I do like a troll though. I do like a good one. We get a lot of Jesus freaks. Not that it's really there's anything wrong with religion, but only because they think that John and I are dealing with doing the devil's work, which is why we did a whole episode about the devil recently, which is getting a whole other set of baggage in and crazies. But Cody, where do you see yourself going? What are you hoping to? Where do you want to go with this now? You said you've been streaming for a year. I mean, look, I get it. Yeah, it'd be great to get those followers up. We hope you do. We wish you the best of luck doing all that too. And it's like make a couple bucks doing it. What's better, right? It's really fun. But where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you want Stark Paranormal to be and do? And
hopefully, I don't do this for fame. I don't do this for money. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. TikTok is paying for me to travel. It's paying for my gas. I go to a lot of free places. I mean, I still have a family. I still work a full-time job every day. So, it's nice to be able to go do this hobby of mine and take people with me. And so, I always say in my lives that I'm trying to give people hope. There's some people that are terrified of passing away. And if I can give them a little glimpse of hope that maybe there is something in the afterlife, I did my job. Now, like I said, it's nice, to get gifted and everything, because it's just helped paying for my addiction, if you want to call it, because it is my addiction in all reality, know. But I really hope just if I can make it through to one person and give them some hope. And then probably my more famous saying, at least from my group, is I'm just a country boy looking for shit I can't see and shit I can't hear.
Cody, tell everybody that's on who might not know you, who might not follow you. Again, you can find Cody at Stark Paranormal. I think this is the same handle, right? That you have everywhere. Stark
Stark,
Paranormal.
it's the same across the board. Stark Paranormal
Yeah.
on everything.
Yeah,
And do you have a
Stark
set
Paranormal.
schedule? Tell everybody when you go on. What's your when do you
So-
usually live?
So I'm usually live Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Now,
Got it.
like I said, I got a family, so that's not all the
That's
case,
fine.
but more times than not, it's usually Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I'm on Facebook, and my YouTube is more or less a secondary. If I need to go live on there, I can. And then I'm starting to post like my TikTok lives on there, so if someone wants to watch it, they can later.
Got it.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm also, as like another style of backup, I'm on Rainbow as well, which I know flavor of the week or, kind of like Clapper. And I get it. But I mean, it's still, just in case something
You're building
happens.
an audience, dude. I
Right.
just spent,
Right.
we started this pod. I just started getting on Reddit to promote the podcast, which is an unbelievably, they're so mean on Reddit. They're just so mean to me, but it's like, I absolutely am getting obsessed with it as a new sort of community platform builder. But
Right.
yeah, man, you got to promote. I don't knock it. It's what you got to do.
I do have a question for John if I have time to ask.
Dude, please, let's go.
What's up, man?
So I have a theory. Do you ask spirits questions in your mind and see if they'll answer?
It's funny you bring that up. I do not do that, but I may be able to give you some data on the topic. Okay. There are times when the spirits, and my entire community can attest to this, will say what I am going to say before I say it. And you can actually listen in my live and you'll hear the spirit say something. And literally, while the spirit is still saying it, I start to say it. So it's not like, oh, I heard it and then I'm just regurgitating what the spirits are saying. No, it's almost like they pull it from the top, the top of your brain. Like the tip, they pull it from the tip of your tongue. They will say what you are going to say before you say it. Happens all the time. All the time. And it's not like we don't make a big to do with it while I'm streaming because it's just such a natural thing that happens. Most people don't even realize it. And the ones that do are like, oh, yeah, that happens all the time. So I don't think spirits are psychic. They could be, sure. But there has to be some sort of connection between the spiritual synapses and an actual physical one. There's no way to
this is
well, John, it speaks to if it happens. Let's look at it from some, because I tend to agree, or I certainly lean into John's theory of it's memories or consciousness, because no one really knows how the mind works, trapped to energy, and because it is a scientific fact, we have electrical impulses in our brain. That energy has to go somewhere when we die. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Those are the various facts of these things. So if your consciousness is on your energy and their energy, that consciousness, maybe there is a way to connect to it. I feel like if I play this back to myself, I'm going to sound like an idiot, but it's sort of, or sound crazy saying it, but I feel like, how is that, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's when you talk about telepathy or people who study consciousness.
So
when they do remote viewing and things like that, that's how that stuff gets communicated.
So
right?
What data do you have? Do you do that in your live? Do you ask the questions? Do you
write it down for your audience before you, and then if they say it, you show your
so
audience.
I did it for the first time the other night. Now I ask questions in my head all the time, but I can't prove that. Sometimes I'm walking around and I don't want to stop to comment it. They're going to be like, who the hell's this commenting in here? We don't know this guy, because I don't really comment in my lives. I'm talking, So I did it for the first time and I thought I got my answer, but I didn't. I actually posted that video today, but I have gotten answers, but I can't prove that. It's more or less to me, my opinion, subject matter to me of my question. Did they answer it? And I have gotten it probably 4 or 5 times. I've had it answered. Now, I think that's also something where multi-dimensions and string theory comes into play, in my opinion.
Well, look, Cody, one thing I can tell you about what John and I both agree with, and I think most of the community here that's watching or listening to Splintered Spirits, it's like we come from a place of why not? I'm going to believe it first. I'm not going to assume you're lying to me, right? Or you're trying to set me up. So it's like the questions then come after, as opposed to you show me something, what it is. I'm not going to go like that's clearly not a ghost. If you were there, I wasn't there. John wasn't there. So you're showing me a piece of evidence and you're telling me this happened. I'm going to take your word for it, right? Like, why not? Like, this is sort of the fun of it. So, and I know, and you're really only proving it to yourself because there's nobody online that's going to believe you. They just don't listen. They don't care, or they're not smart enough to do it. It's like, they're just not that smart. And I'm sorry, guys, I love you. I love the fans, but there's a lot of you, I think you know the truth. You're not that bright. But it's like, and you know who I'm talking to. But it's just so you can't please them. You know what I mean? So it's like if people come in, it's like you're faking it. It's like, what do you want me to do, man? All right. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't spend the whole day here telling you I'm faking it. It's like I just did this.
You know
what's
a great way, Stark, for you to do, where you can actually prove it while you're live, even if you're by yourself. Pad in a piece of paper, write down the question. Don't say it in the live. Fold it up, have it be in view, where where everybody can see you write the question. Fold it up, leave it down somewhere, and be like, spirits, I'm literally thinking of a question in my head. Can you answer it? Try it 10 times. See how many times they do it. And then who's going to turn around and, the only people that are going to dismiss that are the ones that are like, the spirit boxes are fake. You program that.
Right.
You're using a recording.
Right.
That's it. And who cares about those people? Because they, no matter what evidence is in front of their face, they're going to turn around and come up with a reason why it's BS, even though you know it's not.
Cody, we did a thing. We had a situation where one of John's mods, his mother passed away in October of last year. And I don't know if you caught this episode of us. We show it all, but it used to happen to him quite frequently enough to where I started looking up, like, is this a thing that happens? It is a thing that happens. Telephone calls. People get telephone calls from the deceased all the time. And the stories they have were matching up with Brian's stories, where sometimes it's just static or sometimes it's this. I reached out to a professor in the UK who wrote a book called Telephone Calls from the Grave. We had him on, but then John goes to what is apparently some hotbed of ghost activity, Indiana. And on his live there, Brian gets this phone call from his mother. And it's kind of funny because John's like, can I answer it? And he's like, no. You want to answer? But we have it live. We caught it.
It also happened here too, months later.
Yeah.
Like after we aired the episode, like maybe like a month or two after that episode, recently it happened here. Like he got another.
It gets crazier though, Cody. So like even before the phone call came in on that live one over the Spirit Box app, it said mom's on the phone. So that happened, and then he gets this call. So then, all right, we play the call. The call is clear as day, and it's his mother on the voice. She leaves a voice message, and then there's a text to voice and it doesn't match the voice, right? We get all this stuff happens. The time signatures match where it is. And, we post it. We do an episode. We post the episode. I post the little clips, the promo clips of the thing. People are just like, you guys faked it, right? It's like, all right, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell. They're like, the text doesn't match the message. I go, yeah, man, I told you.
When does it ever?
I go, the text. I go, yeah, I told you that. We don't know. I literally said, like, we have no idea why the text doesn't match. Now, are there reasons why that could happen in the technical universe? Of course, dude. The glitch, could be a glitch with that phone system. Her message could be trapped in there in the cloud and it comes through all the time, right? But here's the thing that I question. This tends to happen a lot to people who grieve, and it happens around John a lot with Brian, probably even more than it happens with Brian on his own. So that's where the question comes into play for me of what is happening. Not like, but I can't convince the audience that we didn't set this up. There's nothing I can do. We have it on video when it happened live. We play the tape for you. I'm giving you everything I've got. And all I can tell you is this is what happened. And it's crazy, dude. If you've never seen it, you can check it out. But it's like, we love our audience. I love you guys, but also fuck you guys. Like it's like I can't make you believe us. You know what I mean? We're just gonna try to show you something that's wild, and you're either on this ride with us or not, So
I
that's
think
what I'm
you're gonna have
saying.
that with anything.
You can't please them, bro. And it's like,
Mm-mm.
you've been doing it for a year. John's been doing it for a ton of years. That's the thing, just get over them. It's like the people stick with you, and you might lose a few people, and that's fine. You'll gain, sometimes you take a step back to take 2 steps forward, right? So you might lose a
Yep.
couple to go on. And that's the, that's all you can do, man. You can't please these people. You just can't, you can't please them.
No. And it took me a while to figure that out, because especially when you're first starting out, you're really trying to grow your community, which I'm always trying to grow my community.
Yeah,
But
of course.
I'd much rather take my OGs than 50 new people that are assholes.
Yep.
My opinion.
Well, dude,
But
I have a bullshit meter now, man. Straight up bullshit meter. We even got emotes. They ain't going anywhere. Once that bullshit meter starts to rise, that's it. Sub-only chat. You'll still be able to watch, but you ain't getting involved in the chat, because it's just and I allot a certain amount of bullshit from my community too, because some people, they ask you just questions where it's like, why are you asking me that question? I don't have the answer to that. Like, I don't get it. Wait a minute. You should know
well,
better. Don't ask that
I,
question.
like
I
my
don't know
biggest
what tiles on the ground. You know what I mean?
like
It's
my
funny.
biggest thing I fight is a lot from my community are expecting me to answer their question when it's asked or see their comment. But when you got 6, 7, 800 people in your live and it's just flying by,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
But then at that
I
point,
refuse, when I'm walking now, I refuse to answer questions while I'm walking. I refuse. If I sit down, think about it, I'm at a cemetery, I'll sit down for 3 hours before I go for a walk. You got a question you want to ask me? Now's the time. I'm sitting down, I'm looking at the chat. Once I start walking, though, don't ask me any questions. You're lucky if you'll get an answer. If I can answer it in 5 words or less, I got you. But if
right,
and it's just the way it is. That's social media. That's just live.
right.
I know they get really mad at you guys when you don't answer me, and then they
Yeah,
repeat it.
yeah.
Like, it's like,
Because
And then
care
your
this is what
about
I
mods
tell
get
me.
people
upset.
get.
Then
Yeah,
your
Right.
I
mods get
just sent you
upset
a gift. Oh, my bad. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. If you want, all right. I'll stop talking to the spirit to thank you for this. And now I'll ignore everybody in the chat and just talk to you because you sent me a hand heart. I appreciate it.
Isn't it
Like,
wild, dude?
get
The
out
sense
of
of
here.
entitlement that this has created in people. This is a whole other conversation about it's sort of like the end of civility due to social media or something, right? But because it's just, everyone's lost all sorts of sense of manners and respect, but
Mhm.
and the sense of
It's truth.
entitlement, you know.
It's straight truth. It
Yeah.
really is. I battle it every night. Every night I go live, I battle it. And I got great mods that help me. Like our things, we got a sticker, sub sticker called the VIP room. Well, you mess up, you get sent to the VIP room. Hope there's popcorn in
Yeah.
there for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like, I just, the keyboard warriors come out strong sometimes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they do. I just
And
turn them into songs now,
I just
and I
ignore
love
them
it.
half the time.
Yeah. So sometimes I can't. If they come in and they say something good, and the wheels in my head turn, I'm like, oh, I can turn that into a song. I'm going to put them on blast and have a great time doing it. Oh, you're about to get your whole 15 seconds. Let me tell you, like, it's great. I love it.
I, I, I try
No.
to do the same thing, but my mods are so good that they end up getting them out before I can even actually get
Yeah.
involved, because I
I
I
want
know
to get
John.
involved
I know
because it was
John's
so
mods get him
interesting.
out. I want to get involved too, and John's mods
Dang
always
it.
get him out.
I wanted my
Oh
shot
no,
at
no,
it.
my mods they nuke quick. They
Th-
know what
This
they're good with it.
the podcast
All
Yeah.
right.
itself is the
So
podcast
listen,
profiles itself are not big enough for
I
mods
have
yet,
to
and
go. I'd love to stay
yeah.
on and keep bullshitting, but I have to go. I have Netzel at 8:30. We do a little thing on TikTok together. So I gotta hop off.
Cody, listen, everybody, again, you guys got to check out his profile. He is at Cody Stark at Stark Paranormal.
Yep.
You can find it. TikTok is probably the best place. Yeah, but he's on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere else.
Yep.
Cody, this is really fun, dude. I'm glad you reached out. I'm glad we had you on. You're a super nice guy. We'll have you
Thank
back
you, man.
one of these
Appreciate
days.
it.
Any
It's great
evidence
having
you
you
ever
on.
gather? Yeah, any evidence you ever gather, Cody, by all means, man, please send it over. We'll talk about it. We love getting ghost
Yeah.
stories and like,
Yeah.
guys, check out what I got. We'll share it, you know, and make sure
Yeah.
people see it. We love seeing ghost stories. And like I said, we always come at it from a place of like, okay, it's wild. Like this is if Cody said this scared him, let's show it. You know what I mean? So please do.
I knew
All
you'd
right.
probably like that one. But
It was
thank you
good.
guys so much. I appreciate you bringing me
All right.
on here. I've had an absolute blast. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Awesome,
Cody. You
man.
have a good one. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You
I'll
guys
see you
have
later,
great.
Cody.
See you.
Bye. And bye,
Bye.
Amanda. Or stick around. You can watch the end as we wrap up. Super nice guy, dude.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. Awesome,
Real nice
dude.
guy. What's going on in
Yeah.
Indiana? It seems like there's a lot of Indianans. Indiana.
Well, you know what I noticed about Indiana is just so many damn abandoned places. Like when I traveled out to Indiana and just heading out there, all the places going through the states, it's just like there's so many goddamn abandoned places around here. I was like, this is nuts, you know. But yeah, that's the deal with that. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this episode.
All right. If you guys have been following on John's channel on Santa Paranormal, please follow us at Splintered Spirits.
Yep.
Come on over. We would really like the subs. Please like, subscribe. It would be great if you did. You know, we want you to come out. We've got some great episodes out already. What can I tell you, man? Another good episode. Everybody, thank you so much for being a part of it. Go check out. We dropped that episode about the devil. It's out now. With Rebecca the Ghost Hunter we had last week. And if you missed this live, if you're tuning in and going, shit, I missed it, don't worry, we're dropping it tomorrow and you can see Cody again. We thank Cody Stark from Stark Paranormal. Everybody, this has been Splintered Spirits
dude. Thank you
Live.
for coming on. It was awesome having him on.
All right,
Later,
man.
guys.
See you, everybody.
Gary, I'll talk to you later.
See you, man.